Hello, and welcome to Fizzy Yoga with Dr. Katie, PT. Today I have for you a beginner floor flow, teaching all the basics of the floor poses. This is a great flow for anyone who's just starting out with yoga. If you have any flexibility deficits or just want to learn more about the floor poses, this is a great way to start. Now just remember, never go beyond your own physical limitations. We'll be focusing on the breath and coming into that deep meditation at the end, so you just have that sense of bliss and that relaxation and improved mobility through the body. Now we'll also be using modifications with the blocks, blankets, and a strap. So just make sure you have that on hand. So here we go. Let's just begin simple and easy in our child's pose. Now you can come into this pose a variety of ways. If this is too much on your knees, just sitting back on the heels, you can put a blanket between the thighs and the calves, or if you don't have a blanket, or if you need a little bit more, you can use the block between the heels and the bottom. So wherever you're most comfortable, you'll just gently crawl down into that child's pose. The arms stretch out wide. The palms are down on the mat. Your forehead is gently resting. This is too much on your shoulders. You can just bring them down by your sides, palms facing up. Just feeling a nice lengthening through the spine. So we're just gonna start with a few deep breaths here. That audible exhale, belly breathing. So wherever you are most comfortable, you'll take an inhale through the nose. You're filling the chest up with air, just like you're inflating a balloon. Slow count of 3. And then you'll open the mouth and you'll exhale, making an H-A-ha sound. Do a few rounds of this. So breathe in for 1, 2, 3, and then cleansing exhale. Just like you're fogging a mirror. Breathe in, feeling the belly fill between the legs. Stretch into the back and the sides of the rib cage. And exhale. A few more, finding that center and that focus on the breath. Breathe in. And exhale. Just letting it go. The body's melting into the mat. One last one here. Breathing in, slow count of 3. Imagining that air filling the lungs. And now exhale. Letting all the air out. Now we'll transition to our Ujjayi breath, so you'll seal the lips together. We're coming into that ocean breath. So inhale, exhale. Feeling that constriction through the throat. So you'll continue this through the rest of our session here. So coming into wherever you've started your child's pose, let's try to bring the arms out in front of you. I'm gonna crawl them over to the right. The hips will drop off to the left. Breathe in. And exhale. Ujjayi breath. Do one more, breathing in. Feeling that length through the left side of the rib cage. And letting go. Gently crawl the hands over to the left. Hips slightly lean off to the right, feeling that lengthening through the right side. Breathing in. Victorious breath on the exhale. One more, breathe in. Crawl the hands back to center. If you have the block between your knees, just remove it, place it off to the side. We'll gently press up to tabletop pose. So tabletop position, the hands are directly under the shoulders, knees are under the hips, the gaze is down, the neck is long, your core is tight. We're going to come into a cat-cow here. So as you inhale, you'll lift your gaze, the belly drops and the hips lift. And on your exhale, you'll reverse. So you tuck your chin, you round the spine. Inhale, extending through the chest and the neck and the low back. Exhale. Breathe in, inhale, rise. Exhale, flex and round. Come back to neutral tabletop. Just find some lateral movements of the hips. So look over the right shoulder. The hips swing to the right and reverse to the left, just wagging the hips from side to side. My belly is pulling in, feeling a gentle stretch through my neck as I turn my head. Back to center. Now let's just raise the right arm high. So you'll press down firmly into the left hand and the right arm will come high, just alongside the ear. And you're reaching through your fingertips, just feeling a nice lengthening in the shoulder. Breathing in. Let's bring the arm out to the side. Breathing in. And on your exhale, if you can, just place the hand on the hips. Just open the shoulder, maybe lift the gaze here. Gently place the right hand down, pressing through the right palm, lift the left arm by the ear, stretch through the fingertips. My spine is staying straight as my belly's pulling in. Breathe in and exhale. Arm comes out to the side. Inhale and exhale. Place the back of the hand on the low back. Lift the gaze. Back to tabletop. Now we'll alternate lifting the legs. So let's extend the right leg long. Just do circles with the toes and the feet. Point and flex. To a pointed position, you're pressing down through the hands. The belly is strong. Just lighting up, firing up that glute here. Inhale. Exhale. Back to center. Inhale, left leg lifts, point the toe, just free movement in the ankle. Now point the toe long, You should feel a long line of energy from the crown of the head through the toe. So breathe in, feel that stretch, and exhale, back down. Let's curl the toes under. We're just gonna try a down dog here. So if you need to keep the knees bent and just high on the toes, you're just trying to get your hips high. The tailbone is pointing towards the ceiling. I'm pressing down through my index finger and thumb of the hands. The head is just down and relaxed, and your hands and feet are in one line. Now eventually, you'll be able to stretch the heels down to the mat. So you're pushing through the upper body, trying to get the chest close to the thighs. So wherever you may be here, let's just take an inhale and exhale. Let's gently bring the knees down. We'll just come into a modified plank. So you're just gonna shift your hips forward. Again, my shoulders are stacked over my wrists. My neck is long, just gazing at the top of my mat. My core is tight. So here's your modified plank. So as we progress these classes, you'll be doing vinyasa flows, chaturangas, and this is where I want you to start. So you're building some heat, you're building some core strength and stability. Let's inhale here, and take an exhale. Now if it's too much to be just on your hands like this, you can always just come down onto your forearms. Again, the neck is long, the core is tight. Breathing in and letting go. Now let's gently just slowly lower down onto the bellies. The forehead is on the mat. You're gonna place your hands under your shoulders, the elbows are high, glued to the side of the ribs. We're gonna come into baby cobra. So the tops of the feet are down into the mat. Your knees are lifting off the mat, so your legs are strong and engaged here. And as you exhale, you'll exhale all the air out. And on your inhale, you'll just peel the chest off the mat. You can have the hands on the ground, just giving you that little push. Your gaze is high. And as you exhale, just lower down. Relax the arms by the side. Release the legs. Come back. Do that one more time. Exhaling all your air out. Inhale, peel the chest up. Now maybe for this one, you want to lift your hands, just using all of your thoracic extension muscles. Gazing high, breathing deep into the belly here. And on your exhale, just lower down, gaze to the other side. Now we'll come into our half bow. So I recommend using a strap. You'll loop it around the top of your foot. This will give you a good stretch in the hip. So just relax the leg down. You can bring the strap over your shoulder. And gently and slowly, using the strap, you'll just bend the knee. You're pressing down through your hips. Your chest is lifting. My left leg is also engaged and strong, so the top of the foot is pressing down. And I'm just feeling a gentle stretch through the front of my right hip. You should feel nothing in the back, so just stop wherever you need to here. Let's just breathe in. And exhale, maybe pull a little bit more. Gently let the leg down. Take the strap off. We'll switch legs. Loop the strap over the left foot, around the shoulder. Breathing in. And on your exhale, just pull the strap, find that stretch in the hip. Getting a nice extension through the spine, feeling a stretch in the front of the thigh, the quads. Again, just feeling like your chest is lifting too, so we're also getting the benefit of opening the chest here. Breathing in one more time. Exhale, pull a little more. Gently lower the leg down. Remove the strap. And let's just reverse that extension with a gentle child's pose. You may find that you can sit your hips back a little bit more. If you use the block in the beginning, maybe you want to go down to the blanket to get a little bit more stretch here. Let's breathe in. Slowly shift up through tabletop, and we'll come into easy cross-legged seated position. So depending on the flexibility of your hips, you might want to start by sitting on the block. We'll allow your knees to open a little bit more. You can sit up taller. If this is too much on your knees, also you could sit on a blanket and put the blocks just by underneath the knees for a little bit more support. So I'm all supported with my hips sitting on the blanket, my knees with the blocks on the side. Let's just take a few deep breaths here. Breathing in, belly breath, maybe one hand on your chest, one hand on your belly. Feeling that calmness, that wave of relaxation come over you. Breathe in deep. Let's put your hands by your side. I'm gonna do a seated cat-cow. So let's sit up tall through the chest on an inhale. And then exhale, chin to chest and round. Inhale, gaze high. Exhale, round. Inhale, gaze high one more time. Exhale, let's just come to neutral. We'll work on some side bending, lateral stretching. So you can put the block, if you don't need it for your knee, just by your side. Let's bring your left arm up overhead, and you'll just stretch over to the right. You can play around with how far you want the block out. And go a little bit further. Back to center. Slide the other block over, arm up overhead on an inhale, and exhale, surrender over. With every breath, you feel that filling of the rib cage here, lengthening that right side of the body. Come back to center. Do some twists. So gently place the right hand behind you. Again, you can use the block behind you, or if you have your blanket, that might be all you need. Inhale, left arm high. Exhale, hands to the right knee, just gently twist. Now with each exhale, you should be able to feel that you can maybe turn your head a little bit more, turn the spine. If you need to just stay here and just feel this gentle twist here, that's okay. You'll just get further and further each time. So wherever you are, let's take one more deep inhale. And exhale, unwind. Left hand behind you, inhale, right arm high. Exhale, twist. Deepening into that twisting motion. And on your exhale, just come back to center. You can just bring the blocks off to the side. We're going to try to bring our heels and toes together. Again, you can be sitting on the blanket. Try to play around whatever feels good with your feet closer, a little further out. And again, we can bring those blocks so they're right underneath the knees, the thighs, wherever they need to be, just to give that little bit more support. We'll sit up tall on the pelvis, lifting up through the chest on an inhale. And then as you exhale, you'll just hinge at the hips. Find that stretch. So you should feel a nice opening through the adductor muscles here, a stretch across the low back. You're lifting through the chest. When you feel like you can come further, you can drop the head, round the spine. Using the elbows to give a little pressure on the knees to open the hips as well. Gently sit up, put the blocks off to the side. We'll come into staff pose. So again, you can sit on the blanket to give your hips a little bit more support and support through the low back. If you don't need it, you can just put it off to the side. You'll have your blocks by your side. Just gonna roll the shoulders back, lift up through the chest. The gaze is slightly lifted. Now you can play around if you need the blocks here. Ideally, you want your hands on the mat. You feel a stretch through the chest, through the pecs. I'll keep my blocks here, so let's breathe in. Let it go. Your feet are flexed here, your legs are fully engaged, so you're feeling a stretch through the calves, through the hamstrings, and the core is tight. So one more inhale. Exhale. Just relax. Let's come into separate leg stretch. So you'll just slightly bring the right leg out about a 45-degree angle. The left foot will come in, foot to the thigh. Again, you can put the block just underneath if you don't have enough hip mobility to let the leg drop down. So I'll keep the block here. Now maybe for this one, you'll want to use the strap as well. So you can put the strap around your foot and you'll just sit up tall as you pull the toes towards the face, trying to keep the knee straight here, and you'll just feel the stretch. And when you're ready to go a little bit further, just relax the leg down. The toes are pointed and you're just hinging at the hips, using the strap to pull you forward. Your gaze is just over the toes. Feeling the stretch through the hamstrings, the calf, maybe a little lengthening through the left side of the spine. Gently sit up and we'll switch legs. So the left leg out, right foot in, set your blocks up. Use your strap around the foot. Sit up tall on an inhale. Just finding that posture. Pulling the toes to the face. And then gently pull forward. So if you can reach, you can always put your hands around the toes, or just keep using the strap to pull. Spine is long. I'm just gazing over my toes. Feeling an opening in the right hip and a nice stretch in the left hamstring. Belly breathing, Ujjayi breath style throughout these poses. Gently sit up. We'll come back into that staff-like position. Legs extended. Heels are pressing forward. Taking the strap, we'll do seated forward fold. So strap around the toes, the balls of the feet. Sitting up tall, inhale. And then exhale, just pull, hinging at the hips. So I'm not rounding my spine here. From this position, I'm just pulling forward. Again, you're feeling that nice stretch through the back of the legs. The strap giving a little bit more stretch through the calves as well. Maybe you just need to stay here and feel the stretch. Eventually, you'll be able to hinge forward. Again, the gaze is just forward. Everything's relaxed. And slowly roll up. So we're going to try one more twist. So you'll bring your right foot in, left leg out long. If you can cross it over, you can cross it. I'll show here. One block behind you, resting that right hand on it. Inhale, left arm high. Exhale, just wrap it around the knee and you'll gently twist. You may feel that you can go further from that first twist. Now, depending on that shoulder mobility, you can hook the elbow on the outside of the knee or just hug it tight. Looking at the wall, feeling a stretch through the chest. Depending on your neck mobility, you can look over the right shoulder. We'll gently unwind. Left knee bends in. Block behind the hip, hand on the block. Inhale, right arm high, and exhale, twist. My right foot is active, so I'm still feeling a stretch there. May also feel a nice stretch in the lateral hips. Feeling that stretch with each exhale. Gently unwind. Come on to our back slowly, one vertebrae at a time. Let's just do a gentle pelvic tilt motion here. So again, coming back to that cat-cow motion. So it helps if you want to put your hands underneath your spine. You're going to tilt your pelvis as you press the spine down. And then relax. You're using your transverse abdominis here, feeling a stretch in the low spine. If you need some support for your head, you can always put the blanket underneath your head as well. Just a couple more twists or tilts. Just coming back to that neutral spine. I'm gonna do a bridge. So what you'll do is you'll spread your feet hip width apart. The feet are behind the hips. And you're gonna gently lift the hips up. You're pressing through your shoulders and you're getting a gentle extension through that spine. Your neck is long. Now you have a couple options here. You can just use your hands to support your hips if this is too much. Or you can take the block and gently place it underneath the sacrum. Just wherever you may be, just take a few deep breaths. Your exhale, you'll just lower one vertebrae at a time. Now let's hug the right knee into the chest. The left leg just extends out long. If that doesn't feel good for your back, you can just keep your knee bent. So you'll breathe in as you hug the knee in. You can always use the strap behind your knee too, if it's too much to reach around the knee. Now let's take the strap, we'll stay with the right leg right now. You're gonna put it over the ball of the foot, lower it down. I'm gonna do a nice hamstring stretch here. So you can gently pull the leg up until you feel a stretch. Just breathing in and letting go. Again, you can keep this knee bent here or just keep it extended out long. With each exhale, you may feel that you can bring the leg a little bit closer to the face. Let's just gently bring it out to the right. You'll feel a little adductor stretch here, wherever feels comfortable. Maybe anchor down with this left hand. Just breathing into the stretch, surrendering with the exhale. Just gently come back to center. Release the strap and lower the leg down. Now let's hug the left knee into the chest. Again, the right knee can be bent or just left out long. Just feel a stretch in the hip and the glute. Come to the hamstring stretch. We'll put the toes through the strap, lower the leg down, and gently lift. So you feel the stretch in the back of the leg. Trying to keep the toes flexed. Again, this right leg can bend up. Now coming into that gentle adductor stretch, bringing the leg out to the left. wherever's most comfortable. 2 deep breaths here. Back to center. Go into a figure 4 stretch. So you'll cross the right ankle over the left knee. A few options here. You can use the strap to just pull this left thigh towards the chest. Or you can just use your hands, whatever is more comfortable. You're feeling a nice stretch through your piriformis, the glutes of the right side. If you don't have this hip mobility, you can always just cross the ankle and just lay here. Maybe just pull the knee towards the opposite shoulder. Gently switch. Left ankle across the right thigh. Coming here. Or pulling up through, finding that figure 4. Just feeling that stretch through the lateral hip, the glutes, the piriformis. One more deep breath. Exhale, release. Just do a little bit of an inversion. So you're going to extend the toes to the ceiling. Your legs are at 90 degrees with your body. Your arms are just relaxed by your side. Just feeling a stretch in the back of the thighs, reversing the blood flow. If you can't quite hold the legs here, again, you can always just use your strap. Just keep them at this position. Gently bend the knees down. Do a gentle twist here. So you have 2 options. You can bring the right knee into the chest, left leg extends out long. You'll gently twist the right knee across the body as you gaze to the left. You can keep the toes just resting on the knee. Maybe even using the block to rest the knee at whatever level you can get to. If this is too much, you can just keep the feet flat on the floor and just tilt the knees. Just gaze over the right shoulder. Come back to center. Left knee in tight, right leg long. Inhale. And exhale, twist. Come to whatever's most comfortable. And if you just need to bring both knees over, you can use the block to support. Back to center. Now let's just hug both knees into the chest. Maybe do some little circles, massaging out the lower spine. Let's hug in tight, deep, small ball. Inhale. And as you exhale, just lower everything down to the mat. Your feet fall out wide, the arms are by your side, palms are up. If you need a little support behind your knees, you can roll up your blanket and just place it under your knees. Take a few more deep breaths here. We'll go back to the audible breaths. You're melting into the mat. Total surrender for a moment. Breathe in. And exhale. Let it all go. Gently breathing in and out through the nose here. Just bring some movement back to the fingers and the toes. Bend the knees in. Gently turn off to your left side, fetal position. Inhale and exhale. Using your hands, you'll gently press yourself up into that seated position. Maybe roll the shoulders back, shoulder blades down into the back pockets, and open the eyes. You're feeling a sense of relaxation, openness through the hips, the low back, and the chest. Remember breathing into these poses, keep practicing, coming back day after day. You'll be able to go further and just feel those benefits and that relaxation. Until next time, namaste.